I'm Julie Fei Fan Balzer, and in the next 30 minutes, we have 3 ideas to measure and utilize time. So we're going to start out with something I use all the time at home when I need to really get myself going and started, and that is the idea of using a timer. So let me show you some of the projects I've done. So everything you see here, all of these little tags were I gave myself 2 minutes to sort of play, scribble. It's not great art, it's just fun. If you don't feel like you're a person who can draw, everything here is just 2 minutes of stamping, but you'll notice I stayed with a theme, just a whole bunch of heart stamps. How about this idea? This is a little book. Everything is shaped like a pod, which is just what I call this kind of shape. So it's just a collection of black and white images, leaves, even things I cut out from a magazine that happen to be that same pod shape. Again, stamping, here's some painting, more magazine cutouts randomly, but just playing around again with a single shape. You can get even fancier with a timer. In this little notebook, what I did is I just did a face and I timed myself 15 minutes and I used watercolor and pencil. And could that possibly have really taken me 15 minutes? I just had to be done in less than 15 minutes. If the timer went off, no matter where I was, I absolutely had to stop. You can see that you can just play around and have fun with different mediums, doing whatever you want, because a timer is a way to make yourself go when you're feeling like you don't want to. So let's play around. We all actually carry a timer with us most of the time. In your phone, you can just set a timer. So we're gonna set a timer for 2 minutes. The clock is running. What are you gonna do? Well, you can play around just with the idea of maybe doing some patterns. So again, I'm not thinking, I'm not doing anything. It's just in those moments when you're in your art space and you're stuck and you're not sure what to do, if you set a timer and say, I'm just going to paint stripes and patterns for 2 minutes, then you get going and you do something. And I think it's the act of starting that is actually the single most difficult part about making art. Because you are sitting there staring and you're like, I don't want to waste my time. I want to make sure that I do something really awesome. And yet I'm nervous about what to do. And so then you spend, 20 minutes trying to decide what to do instead of spending that time working. And one of the things I think is fun is you might discover some things that you didn't know about your own supplies. You might discover that you like to mix, paint markers with dye ink markers. You might discover that, you like a color combination. I honestly can't imagine why I picked up purple, green, and kind of like this weird burgundy color, except that I was experimenting and playing. You can even try destroying something and see if maybe you end up liking it. That is the fun of the timer, because until that magic bell goes off, all you're doing is just playing and having a good time. You might see how different kinds of tools, like a gel pen, interacts with everything else that you're doing, and you'll be surprised. Can you believe that that timer hasn't gone off yet? 2 minutes is a lot more time than you think. You probably think that you're gonna be really rushed and hysterical about it, but actually look at this. We have time to do so many things with this, which I really enjoy and appreciate. And it also makes me feel more relaxed when I know that I can get a lot done. And there we go, my timer is done. And look at that, that's a really fun beginning. So now when I'm actually ready to make a piece of art, I have a piece of inspiration here to get me started. So let's say that my piece of art is, I know I wanna make some flowers. So now I've just already have my color palette chosen because I already did this basically, right? So I know that I can color in these purple petals with this kind of burgundy color, and it's going to be a beautiful combination, just like that, because I already figured that out. So whether I'm coming back a day later or a week later, I already have that info. And I know that I can add in, let's say, a little surround in this kind of nice soft green. And again, not a color that I normally would have picked for a flower, but I love the way it combines together. Then I mentioned that I like these little pluses. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the same gel pens, except into the petals, I'm gonna go ahead and add some of those little plus signs. And now, without even any effort, without having to think about it too much, I really have created a reference tool for myself. It's not about whether the art you create when you're under a timer is like fine, great art, but it's about giving yourself a little space and a push and forcing yourself to make something, to connect to it, to experiment, to rush. Can you believe rushing is actually a really good thing when you're making art, because otherwise your brain gets involved. And I don't know about you, but my brain is super bossy and doesn't always make me happy. Now I can say, what else do I want to add to this? Well, I can reference some of these tags. I love the way that this particular one turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and find that stamp. And then I'm gonna grab some ink and I'm gonna add that flower to my little collection here. Now, this could certainly be something that you do in an art journal. It could be something that you do on a tag, on a canvas, but you have your entire reference already set up. So now I'm not really thinking, and my art making time feels like, you know, I am making the most of it because I've already done the experimenting. I've already made the mistakes and tried the things that I don't like and I don't want. So that when I am putting this final piece together, it just feels natural and easy, and I know exactly what I want. I hope that you will give a timer a try. It's a great way to make most of your art time.